President Trump highlights the successes of his foreign policy after Turkey announces a permanent ceasefire agreement in Syria. Speaking to reporters from the White House's South Lawn today, the president thanked Turkey for sticking to the terms of its agreement in exchange for the U.S. lifting recent sanctions. He also stressed the fact that no U.S. soldier was injured by Turkey's planned offensive.
It's a very volatile part of the world, but so far it's been pretty amazing what's gone on. We've lost no soldiers. We didn't have a soldier hurt. We didn't have a finger broken. It's pretty unusual. And we have thousands of soldiers that have moved out or are moving out of various areas. We have it under very good control.
The president also touched on the trade war with China, saying the U.S. has the most powerful economy in the world, while Beijing has lost trillions of dollars. One America's Emerald Robinson has more from the White House.
President Trump is feeling confident about a ceasefire agreement that was reached on the heels of a 120-hour truce in northern Syria. The president going against expectations and calling it a permanent ceasefire rather than just a lasting one.
Early this morning, the government of Turkey informed my administration that they would be stopping combat and their offensive in Syria and making the ceasefire permanent.
Ahead of the speech given by the president Wednesday morning in the diplomatic room of the White House, officials had told One American News that the president would be calling it a lasting ceasefire, keeping in mind that permanence in that region is often elusive. The president acknowledged as much himself in the speech, but suggested his confidence comes from the threat of sanctions that the U.S. continues to hold over the head of Turkish President Erdogan.
So the sanctions will be lifted unless something happens that we're not happy with. This was an outcome created by us, the United States, and nobody else, no other nation. Very simple. And we're willing to take blame, and we're also willing to take credit. This is something they've been trying to do for many, many decades.
The president also announced the U.S. would be dropping recent sanctions placed on Turkey in response to the invasion in northern Syria. The agreement comes on the heels of the Vice President and Secretary of State's heading up negotiations with a trip to Turkey and culminating with the meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Turkish President Erdogan. But the administration is getting pushback from lawmakers who are suggesting that the U.S. gave Turkey too much and that this agreement also gives Russia and Assad more influence in the region. The agreement also establishes a 20-mile wide safe zone. Russian forces have already started patrolling in the area on this Wednesday. The president also announced that some U.S. troops would be deployed to guard oil fields in that region, already drawing criticism from Senator Bernie Sanders, who is a Democratic presidential hopeful in 2020, saying that it puts U.S. forces in harm's way for this purpose is illegal and unconstitutional. But Senator Lindsey Graham, who had been in opposition to the president in a lot of aspects of this move to withdraw from Syria, applauded the decision. Now, if you'll recall, Turkish President Erdogan is set to visit the White House November 13th, so not too long from now. There have been some questions over if that date would be kept in light of recent events. The White House has yet to confirm that that is, once again, a solid date. At the White House, Emerald Robinson, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.